it was such a cool shot. It's so unexpected too. Like you don't expect it to happen because you're just like there. It's a tense moment. Cause yeah, and oh my gosh,
Ah, the window.
ah,
The window
they go
is
out
so
through the
good.
window.
Hello and welcome to the Nerd Cassette Podcast. My name is Gabe.
And I am Gato.
And this is your podcast where we just talk about any nerd stuff, any new topics that we find interesting that we just want to talk about. You know, it's funny, I was thinking about it. I feel like this podcast is like our conversation, and then there's a third person, the fly on the wall. I was thinking we should have renamed it to the Fly on the Wall Podcast because that's
Oh
essentially what
man,
we do,
that's such a good name.
right? Anyway, welcome. Like I said, we talk anything nerdy. Mostly lately, we've been talking about a lot of nerd film stuff, and today I want to talk about Netflix new show Adolescence.
Ooh yeah.
It was funny because we just talked about Severance and how amazing the
Mm-hmm.
cinematography was, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how great the shots were. And then it was on, I think it was on Thursday, or Friday or Saturday. I was like, well, let's. My wife was like, let's just watch this Adolescence. She had been telling me to watch this show because it's very popular, has good reviews, and I was like, okay, yeah, let's watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It was on my to-do list, and so finally we had some time, and I watched it. And this show is amazing. It's an amazing show on all. I think, and people have been saying it's like a masterpiece, and I believe it. It's a masterpiece in writing, in camera work, in video production. It's just amazing. We binged the whole show in like the weekend, and it's just mind blowing. What did you think of the show?
Dude, okay, so last weekend, um, someone told me. I don't even know who told me first. If it was you or my coworker, he talked about adolescence, and he's like, "Dude, you're gonna love the show." I think it was right before, actually, and then you told me about it. Um, and I think it was a Saturday or maybe a Friday. And the thing is, like, I had seen the title on Netflix, but I never really like paid attention to it because I was so focused on Severance. So we've been spending more time on Apple TV.
Yeah.
But I'd seen the title like a couple of times, and then my friend talks about it, and the only thing he said is like, "This is right up your alley. You're gonna love it." And I'm like, okay. Like I was just like, sure. Like I mean, a lot of people say that, but then you told me about it, and I was like, okay, two people back to back the same day within like 2 hours.
Oh, it was within
I'm
two
like,
hours.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. He told me at work. I got home, and then you texted me. Um, and so I looked at Amber, and I was like, hey, so Gabe just texted me about the show, and my friend from work also told me about the show. I'm like, do you want to watch it? And she was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I don't know that anyone mentioned to me that it was going to be a one shot type of show. I don't think you said that at first.
That's because I wanted to
Um,
surprise you.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's how I was surprised as well.
yes. And dude, the show starts. Okay, so spoiler warning. So a couple of things. I've only seen 2 episodes, so we're gonna talk spoilers for the first 2 episodes. And then I'm gonna keep Gabe from spoiling anything on episode three or
Yeah.
four,
Yeah.
which I will watch tomorrow when I have more time. It was a busy weekend.
Nah, it's understandable.
um, so the show starts, and I mean it starts pretty strong, and the fact that it was like a one shot scene, I was like, all right, like that's super cool. I'm like, I see why they said that this would be up my alley because
Yeah.
I've talked about doing like one shots as well. We've
Yeah.
talked about the one shot in
Yeah.
Severance. Um, but then it just kept going and then it kept going. And then I was just like, I think this is all in one shot. And like about 3/4 into the first episode, Amber's like, man, these cuts are so clean. And I looked at her and I was like, I don't think these are cuts. I think this is literally a one shot
Take, right?
take. Yeah. Um, I'm blown away. I don't think I've ever seen anything done this well.
Yep.
And like you said, a masterpiece in cinematography, directing, acting, coordination.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I really want to talk about that. There's so much coordination that was happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And the story is like it's really captivating. It's so like gut wrenching too.
Yeah.
Because like just imagine being part of the family involved, or even part of the detective, like the police force,
Yeah.
having to deal with this. Like it's a pretty heavy topic. Oh my gosh, I want to talk about everything.
Yeah, we will break down. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about. There's apparently a thread on Netflix, on the
Oh,
Netflix Twitter, X, uh, Ireland UK account, where they give a Q&A of each episode. Well, not each episode, but of the show. And
hmm,
we'll go into that later in the podcast. But I had this similar experience to you, and it was funny because I was like, okay, let's just watch this show, right? And so the show starts, the shots inside the car or whatever, or he's outside the car, I forgot. And then I'm on my phone. It's like, okay, it's one of those shows where you don't have to pay attention, right? And it was until the car starts moving. And then I'm like, wait a second, weren't we just like doing a shot with the car,
right.
in the, like from the exterior to the interior? Like, okay, they just probably handheld that or some tripod. And then it goes. It's following the car. And then it just keeps going. And I was like, wait a second, what's going on here? And that's when I had to put my phone down because I was like, wait, this just keeps going. And then when I think it was like halfway through the episode, I think once they got into the house, the SWAT team, uh, I was like, I think they're gonna do the whole thing as one. And that's when I got really excited for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I yeah, it got to the point where like when I was starting to realize that this was all one shot, I
Yeah.
started looking for the cuts.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, there has to be like some camera movement that's gonna go
Yep.
behind a person
Yep.
really close, or
Yep.
the wall or something. But no, there's always somebody in frame, and it's never close enough to make a clean cut.
Yep.
Um, what amazes me about the camera work is how, how many people are behind the camera, right?
Yep.
Especially because the camera moves all over the place,
Yep.
or they're really good at making it feel like they're all over the place.
Yep.
But how the car scene? I mean, that first scene, they're inside the car, it moves out of the car, but then when the car moves and it starts following it, not only is it going at the same speed,
Yeah.
but then it goes
It's
up,
goes.
and it goes way up, and it follows the car, and you can see the street, and you can see the town and the houses,
Yeah.
and then it comes back down and it goes inside the house. It's I just don't know. Like it's obviously they have a camera person who's handing the camera off
Right.
to, I don't know, the truck maybe for that one scene. I know that they probably have a drone.
Yep.
They have to have a drone
Yep.
that's good enough for the camera. Um, but these transitions
It's not even
of,
you can't even call it a transition,
well,
right?
yeah, it's not a transition because
It's it's a transfer, right? What do you
but
call it?
it's so that's what's so smooth though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in some movies you can tell, you can see like the camera will be following somebody, right? And you can see that they do like camera movement,
Yep.
so that when they mount it onto the next like rig,
Oh, you
you
could
can't
cheat.
tell.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, they're cheating it basically.
Yeah.
But this one is so smooth. There's no shake. There's no like weird movement to allow the behind the scenes people like making those changes, or at least none that I could see.
Yeah.
It's so smooth.
It's so smooth. I love it. Like there's a couple times you could kind of tell a shake, I think in the end of episode 2, but it's not even that perceivable. It's like a
Dude,
nitpick at that point.
there's a when let's there's a part in episode 2 that I really want to talk about, but we'll get to that in a second. Because there's still so much that I gotta talk about episode 1 and episode 2.
Yeah, there's I'm glad you got to episode 2 because I feel like that was the most technical episode in terms of a oneer, right? Because you have so much to coordinate in terms of, I think it was at least 200 students there to have to coordinate. You have one going from Steadicam going to handheld, and that amazing last shot, the drone shot, right? What did you what did you think of that shot?
Dude, that's the thing. Is like for okay, man. Okay, okay. Let's talk about the shot because I don't want to bounce too much back and forth. But the one shot, it lifts up, right? It starts to go up. You start to see the cityscape a little bit, and my thought is, oh, this is the end.
This is the end, right?
Like I just thought
They're
it
gonna
was
fade
gonna,
to
like,
black.
fade or something.
Yeah.
But then it starts to move forward, and I'm like, oh, like it's kind of a long
It's like this is a
ending
long,
scene.
yeah, this is a long ending scene, right?
And then we go
And it starts
into
going
another. So here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
So in this scene, again, spoilers. The scene, you're going from just outside of the school,
Yeah.
right? It lifts up, and it lifts up, and this drone flies like a few streets over to where the crime occurred.
Yeah.
But when you look at the parking lot, you see all of these cars, and it's empty. There's like no one there.
Yeah.
And then you have a bunch of people kind of like standing by the I don't know what to call it. Sort of replacing the
a
funeral.
vigil. I think.
vigil. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'm gonna pay attention because I want to see when they make that change of from drone to cameraman. And I was looking around. I'm like, I don't know where the camera could be hiding. I was looking inside the cars.
Yeah.
I was looking at the building. And eventually the camera comes low enough that we go into looking at our actor, right? And it follows the actor. And for a minute I was like, well, you could do that with a drone. But then it goes into like a very nice like pan, and it kind of goes around him, and the camera goes into some areas that I'm like, you can't do that on a drone.
No.
That's a person holding the camera.
Yeah. It blew my mind, right?
Such a good shot.
It's so good because I like how they even subverted the expectation that both of us apparently had, that okay, it's easy to get from handheld to drone, because then after that you don't have to worry about the rest of it. You can just fade to black. But then it keeps going, and you're thinking as a filmmaker, you're like, what's going on here? Why are they still going, right? And then there's storytelling within that shot, because you're looking at a parking lot, and then you're slowly being fed this information of, oh, this is like a vigil scene right here. And then you're curious about it, and you zoom into it. So it's like, it's just amazing. The storytelling within the shot, it's like the perfect like mix of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just so good.
You know, one of the things that really impresses me about the show is because I mean, camera work. As both of us have been camera operators,
Yeah.
Professional, non-professional, all of it, right? Like we know how camera operation goes, and from a DP perspective, I mean, it's still very impressive, and I am by no means as good as the cinematographer is. Like, I do not claim that, okay? But I can grasp the concept of like, okay, like I can plan this out, like if with the right equipment, with the right time, and this and
Right.
this and that, whatever. Like it makes sense that you can make it work. What really surpasses my expectations is the acting, because in most films, for those that don't know, um, there's usually like more than one take.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really rare that you go into a movie set and you shoot the one thing and then it's like perfect on the first go. Like lines get messed up, camera work sometimes gets messed
Yeah.
up. Sometimes it's the focusing, like the person that's doing the focus like doesn't get it right, and so they have to do another take. Um, but yeah, there's typically multiple takes, and I'm not saying that they didn't do more than one take on this show,
Yeah.
but the fact that they got to a point where they're filming 50-minute long episodes
Yeah.
in one go with no fake cuts and controlling so many people and young people too,
Young
because
people.
you have kids, you have 200 plus kids, and a good 10 of them have lines, and they deliver the lines so well. Oh no, I'm stuck.
You froze.
Hold on. I did. Hold on. We're back. My camera works again. So much for a one shot. But yeah, just talking about the kids, like I'm just very very impressed that were all able to deliver their lines, deliver their emotions, um, like on cue. And I do wonder, like, how many takes did it take
I
to
have
get
the
it
answer to
going?
that.
Oh my goodness, you are the best.
You know, it was
Um,
funny before we go into that. It was funny because I was nervous for some of the cast. There was the scene
oh
where
yeah.
the detectives go into the room and talk, and there was that one boy that was making like snarky comments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was nervous for him because if he messed up, they would have to redo the whole shot, right? Do the whole take.
Right.
But the kid did it great. But I was weird because you have these little kids that have like small parts and small lines, and if they
Mm-hmm.
mess it up, oh man, I'd feel so bad for them having to mess up the whole shoot.
Well, yeah. Imagine like messing up at the very end.
Right.
Like
Oh my gosh.
everything's going well. You've been shooting for 45 minutes straight and then you sneeze into the camera or something, or I don't know,
Oh my
or you
gosh.
trip.
Yeah.
Like things that are like out of your control, like that's crazy.
It's crazy. I have an answer. I have two shots. So there is on Twitter X now, right? Netflix UK and Ireland, their account, they specifically talk about this. Right? It says, so did they film each episode more than once? A lot more. It was initially
Mm-hmm.
planned that they would film each episode in full 10 times. So 10 times. Once in the morning, once in the afternoon, across 5 days. But in reality, a few attempts had to be abandoned and restarted. So some episodes had many more than 10 takes. Wow. 10
Oof.
takes. So they're filming these sequences back to back. And
Man.
that's crazy to like, and you could kind of see that they become so expert at their lines because they kept performing the same take over and over, and I'm sure they understand more of the what's the word when you're placing people in a scene, staging,
Mm-hmm.
blocking. There you go, right? The blocking,
Yeah, the blocking.
and you're
You're right.
like
Yeah, yeah.
become super expert on it. Here's another tidbit that's amazing. Um, which takes were chosen for the final episodes? So surprisingly, episode
Wow.
one was done in 2 takes. And with
That
the
is
most, I know,
amazing.
right? 2 takes for that first episode. Number for episode 4 is take 16. That is crazy.
So it's probably the last one.
Yeah. I think it was, and there's the BTS video on YouTube by Netflix. And I think they said for episodes 2, 3, and 4, all the last takes were taken. And I think the first one was like either one of the two. I
Wait,
don't remember.
you mean the last takes were used?
Yeah, the last takes were used. And I think the first
Mm,
one, the first episode, the first take was used.
okay. So as a cinematographer
Yeah.
and somebody that's worked on film sets and stuff
Yeah.
like that and know how everything works, would you rather try and do one shots, even if it means filming the same thing over and over and over again, trying to get it all in one go? Or would you still rather have different takes and different scenes and stuff like that?
Ah,
Like, do you know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. I think I would rather do
Especially,
one shots
but would you
because,
rather do it like this long,
oh,
like hour long?
I think you froze again. Technical difficulties.
For real though. Take 3.
Take 3. Oh, man.
So, so you said that you would rather do the one shots.
Yeah, because now I'm learning. And I was watching, man, every time I watch something that amazes me, I just try to find as much behind the scenes interviews. And
Hmm.
so I'm like pretty well versed. And I'm sure there's more that I haven't seen yet. But one of the interviews, they were saying the main actor, I already forget his name. And in episode 3, there's an actress, Erin Doherty. Um, they said they prefer oneers because it allows them to explore the scene, right? It
Hmm.
allows them to feel the scene, it allows them to react appropriately to each other and bounce off each other. So if that helps the actors give a better performance, then yeah, I would rather do one takes. Just so you can fully flesh it out. And then in
Yeah,
editing you can pick and choose.
you can just it's just the one.
I know, but that's the crazy thing, right? Obviously, I wouldn't try to perform a oneer. That's too high level for me. I would
No,
rather do
I
like long. If it was gonna be a scene, I'd rather do oneers, a one long scene of the whole scene, and then
yes.
change angle, have them do the whole scene, and then do it like that.
So I really want to do a one shot short film. And I've had a few ideas for different like just different stories, but I feel like some of them are a little ambitious. But I also think about like the work that goes into it because I mean I just did a short film, right? It was
Yeah,
22 pages long. It took 3 days, about 10 hours on average per day. It's a lot of work and it's super fun and whatever, but I see the appeal of doing the one shot where if it's a short film, then the whole thing is going to be like 5 to 11 minutes
yeah,
long
yeah.
or something around that time. So some of the takes that you do on any film like can take a little bit longer than that and the setup takes a long time and all yada yada yada. But if it's a one shot, then the setup will take a long time. But then once you're able to just focus on the one shot, then you just do it over and over and over again.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
as far as like the acting goes, I think of it as like a play.
A stage play, right? Yeah,
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 because yeah, when you go to a play, like the actors they know their lines 100% and they're out there for a long time, right?
right.
There's not a lot of like cut in between. The cool thing about this type of show or this type of like one shot is that when the actors step away from the camera and the camera goes into a different scene, then you know that the actors are probably practicing their lines or like reviewing or something. So I understand that there's still preparation in between, but it's still impressive to be able to time all of it so well.
Yeah, that's so crazy. It was crazy
Um,
because there was a lot of ad libbing too at some points.
Yes. I
which
figured
they
that
had
out too.
to, right? Um,
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's another good quote. What if someone messed up their lines or did the wrong thing? It depends on the size of the mistake. In some instances, they carried on, but often takes were completely abandoned. No pressure.
No pressure. Still, again, like, what if it happens at the very end? Like,
Oh, right at the
but
very end. Oh man.
but at the same time, like, I mean, everybody knows what they're getting into, so I'm assuming there's like pep talks, and then there's a lot of preparation for it. And if you go in knowing that you're gonna be filming the same scene no matter what, and that you're gonna do it twice a day for 5 days, then I think I would feel better about that.
Yeah, they. I'm sure, like by doing it over and over, they were able to become like it became second nature, and that was that's what some of the crew or the cast were saying about episode 3, especially that they had done it so many times that it became almost second nature, where they just
Yeah,
they forgot the script, right?
it makes it easier later on. Which again, I also know, like, how cool would it be that you're doing this so often that by the last time it's just so good.
I know,
There's
right?
such
Yeah.
there must be such a satisfaction feeling to it. So that's great.
Yeah. It was interesting because they said here, how did the cast prepare? In preparation for the shoot, segments of the script were rehearsed and a little bit more added each day, starting with 5 minutes on the first day and then adding further material as they went through. So by the end of the week, they would be doing full run-throughs. Man.
Nice. So can I want to talk about my favorite shot so far.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Episode 2, when the detective goes to the classroom to talk to the friend one more
Yeah.
time. What's his name?
Oh,
Ryan
Ryan.
or
Yeah.
something like that.
Ryan.
So he goes into the classroom, right? So we're following the detective going to the classroom. And then we have this kid, Ryan, he's not a suspect at this point, but we
Ryan's.
know that he has information. He's
Mm-hmm.
withholding information. So the detective starts asking him questions, and then the kid runs away.
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing about this is that the kid literally just goes to the window right next to his desk,
Yeah.
and he jumps out of there, and the camera follows, and it's so cool. It's so fast. But the thing is, like, how do you do that? Like, do you have a cameraman waiting for them outside, and they just like pass the camera
Oh
over
my
to the next
gosh. Yeah.
person? Um, or is the person like an acrobat, and he just like flips over, like, throws the camera, catches it outside the wind? I don't know.
No, I
It's
totally know what you mean.
but it was such a cool shot. It's so unexpected too. Like, you don't expect it to happen because you're just like there. It's a tense moment. Cause yeah, and oh my gosh,
The window.
ah,
The window
they go
is
out
so
through the
good.
window.
The window was amazing. And it's crazy because they did the whole, they blocked it all out, right? But look how bare bones the crew looks. Because they have to, right? You can't have that much people
Yeah,
on set or else it'll, crew will be in the shot. But yeah, I totally agree. This window.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. The moment they start moving towards the window, I was like, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. They do it.
That it's amazing. So the window's fake,
Yeah, the window is CG.
obviously. Yeah,
But oh man, it's cool because you can anticipate what they're going to do almost. And when they do it, you're like, it's like so satisfying.
but see, I didn't even realize that when I watched it. I thought they went out the same window, or that the window
Oh,
was big.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because again, it just happened so fast. I wasn't expecting it. Legitimately, I thought the camera was gonna like follow him to the window,
Yeah.
and then the kid runs away, and then the camera goes back to the detective, and then we follow the
Oh,
detective
yeah,
running.
yeah, yeah,
No, it broke my expectations again.
yeah.
Crazy, crazy work.
It's
Um,
it's it's crazy because there was a moments I'm sure Brit was so annoyed with me because I would be rewinding. Like there's a couple of shots where I think they were walking through. I think they were, the teacher, one of the staff, was like guiding the detectives around the school, and there was a shot where the camera goes through the railing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching. I was like, wait a second. I have to rewind like 5 seconds or 10 seconds, and it's just a shot. It's such a simple shot to pass the camera through the railing, and I think there's a behind the scenes shots of them handing it off to another guy. And then I'm thinking like they didn't have to do that, right? They didn't have to do
Right.
that to pass it through a railing or just, it's like all this extra. If you could imagine a shot being like, oh, it'd be so cool if it did this, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
do it. And it's just, it blows your mind.
The creative department, the whole production team, really, behind the show, whoever made all of these like decisions, director of photography,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, complete genius. Like you're what every cinematographer aspires to be.
I know, right? Oh man. It's crazy because there's no editor essentially in this show,
Basically,
right?
because what's the editor gonna do?
No,
Like,
nothing.
there's no cutting or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
There's definitely a colorist. There's definitely sound
Yeah,
design
yeah, yeah.
is the one that's doing all of the work here because I'm assuming at some points the director probably has to direct the actors like, okay, like move now, or maybe like I'm assuming maybe there are some pauses in between lines where maybe it shouldn't have been as long, and so the director could be like, the line is this, and then the actor would
Yeah.
be like, blah 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 blah, right? I'm not saying it happened. I'm saying it could. I can see it happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Again, camera people, they're obviously gonna make noise every now and then. So sound editor has to remove that sound,
That's true.
replace it
That's
with
true.
something else, then get the ADR, which is the voiceover. Um, so yeah, no video editor, but applause to the sound editor.
Seriously. There's
Sound
this, I think this
design,
is the shot I was
amazing.
talking about right here. Like, look at that. To that handoff right there. This is the one. That shot, I was like, wait a second. I was like, they didn't have to do that, but they chose to do that. And that's what was so amazing. You know what
Wait,
camera
can
they
I
used for this?
wait? Can I see that again?
Yeah. So there's the handoff right there. And they have someone guiding them, of course. Oh man. So
All right.
good.
So I was gonna ask that.
Yeah.
What camera are they using?
Can you guess? Just guess.
I mean, I feel like I saw a little bit of it, and I'm assuming it's a small camera, so probably an FX6 or FX9.
Nope.
Is it
It's
a
the
Black
top
Magic?
of the line camera that's
Wait, like
uh,
an Ari?
no, not that. Not that top of the line. In terms of portability um and gimbal is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
It's not the Ronin, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It is?
The Ronin 4D.
All right.
I know,
Dude,
right?
I've played with one of those.
No way.
Yeah.
Lucky. Lucky.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I'm so
way,
jealous of you.
way, way cool. Okay, now it makes sense how they got such
Yeah, right?
smooth like movements.
Yeah.
Like that camera is incredible.
Here is the ooh, I don't want to spoil that one for you. So we're talking about the gimbal or the transition from handheld to drone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could see here, say they carry the camera, and then they just while the shot is going, they're attaching the drone to the camera and then turning it on,
Oh, holy crap.
right?
That's
Um,
amazing.
I think there is a BTS video of them transfer it. It's just so clean, right? You know, it's funny because there was a point where the student is just standing there, right? She's like standing there, and then it transitions to the drone shot, and it's great because it was the choice to have to figure out, okay, we need this shot so that way the character can we can we can show that the character is like kind of struggling, right? There's a shot where the pupil is just standing there looking back at the school and she's just like having a rough day. But the cool part is that they took advantage of that moment to set up the rig with the camera. They used that moment of silence or that pause in order to set up the final shot. Here's the transition.
Ooh.
So the shot where she's walking, right?
Yeah.
And then they just connect it and then let it go.
Yeah, that's the scene. See,
It just blows my mind.
did they have BTS of the landing?
I know. I didn't find any.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny because there is a part in the shot where you can tell when the drone turns on because there's a couple of dirt or leaves on the ground that just start moving. And you're like, okay, that's when the drone turns on. And it's pushing all the wind away. But I was like, oh man. But like here, right? That close-up shot.
Yeah.
Going
there's
from the drone
no,
shot to the close-up. Oh my gosh. Oh,
like,
that's spoilers right there. Can't show you that one.
okay, all right, I'll look away. Um, yeah, it's very clean. Very clean. Really good transitions. Cinematographer, the drone pilot, everything about it is just top notch. And
Right.
I was looking at the score is 8.3 and I feel like it should be higher.
On IMDb?
On IMDb, yeah.
I don't trust IMDb. I trust Rotten Tomatoes more. Unless it gave it a lower score. Then I'll
They did?
trust IMDb. No, that's why I'm asking if they did. I think it's just an amazing... Like, it's a simple story, right? But by the end of episode 4, it, like, sparked a conversation between Britt and I in terms of us being parents. Like, it's that good of a conversation starter of, like, wow. The idea of the gist of our conversation was you can be the most perfect parent, right? Do everything you can to help, but then the wild card is that your kid could still, end up, murdering or committing a really heinous crime.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes you wonder if is that blame still on the parent, right? Even though they did everything they could, I'm sure there was stuff that they could have done, and they addressed that, which is great. But it's just one of those, like, where do you draw the line? Where does the line
Right.
start of, oh, it's your fault, it's the parent's fault, or is it the kid's fault? Because in the end,
Right.
the kid made the choice, right? The choice comes
Yeah.
on. You have to own the choice that you make.
Yeah.
It's just one of those. It was just a very thought-provoking ending. It's so
Yeah.
good.
I mean, even just at the end of episode 1, like, I mean, Amber and I don't have kids, but it still was kind of like, man, like, imagine that feeling of like your kid just killed someone.
Right?
Like I can't even imagine like the I don't even know what word to use to describe it, but like just the feeling that goes along with that. Like, is it
Yeah.
hate? Is it anger? Is it disappointment? Is it all of it? Um, and yeah, it's kind of like it puts you to think like, well, we'll teach our kids to be good, to be better than that. But I don't know. I feel like kids disappoint parents all the time,
I
right?
know, right?
Not always to this extreme of like, oh, I'm gonna be a bad person, even though my parents try to make me be good. But like, I don't know. I feel like all kids rebel in one way or another, no matter how good the parents are. And if
Right.
you're a parent and you think your kid doesn't rebel, um,
Right? And it's weird
uh,
because there's different levels of rebellion, I think, right?
yeah, I agree.
Obviously, the extreme version of it is killing somebody. But Oh man, it's just it made me really think about myself as a parent. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, there's things I want to change, things that it made me really start thinking about my parenting style and what things I can take away from the show. Obviously, it's a fictionalized or dramatized version. And I think it's based on a real, based very loosely
Yeah.
based on a real
Okay.
situation. But
I was curious about that because I thought I don't know. I put the pictures that they show at the beginning. I thought those were like
oh
real pictures of
yeah,
the real kids, but
yeah,
I think it's the actors, right? Or
yeah.
maybe not. I don't know.
Wow,
Like I'm
99% Rotten Tomatoes.
okay, so maybe we do trust Rotten Tomatoes better.
But then the viewer score is 73%, which is interesting. Once
Well, I
again, it
guess
makes me wonder. I know we asked this question last week, right? But what do non-cinematographer, non-filmmaker people see? Obviously, you and I are like gushing over the cinematography, like the
well, yeah,
production work, right?
all the logistics, the cinematography, all the production that goes into it. Like and obviously like we enjoy I enjoy the story. Story is like super important to me because
Yeah.
you can have a very pretty film with really good camera work, good sound, good soundtrack, good lighting, and if the story is crap, then I'm not gonna care for it as much.
Snow White. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I
Dude,
would
I
even
was
say it's pretty. I mean, you got the CGI dwarves, which are, or sorry, magical creatures. Oh my
I
gosh.
I was trying to think of a movie, but I couldn't think of any because I feel like most movies in the last like decade have been like this.
Right?
Like what's that movie that also just came out by Netflix with Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown?
Oh,
The like techno
something.
war.
Millie Bobby
Uh
Brown and Oh, wow, it's not even listed on her IMDb. It's not pulling up quickly.
well,
Peanut Mr.
that
No.
movie that movie was so
Electric State.
expensive.
Yeah.
Electric State, that's what it is. How much? I think it cost like 312,000 or something like that, like million,
No way.
$312 million.
They spent millions,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Uh
And I think it has one of the lowest scores ever.
that's yeah, I've been seeing so much promos on that and they're pushing it really hard, right? But yeah, I don't want to waste my time with it.
Okay, so yeah, 320 million is what it costs to make this movie.
Jeez, that sounds
Eh, it's crazy. Like, where's all that money going?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, give me 0.32% of that, and
Yeah.
I'll make a better movie.
Right? Oh
Oh,
man.
goodness.
Ooh, the
Also,
studio is coming out. Or I think it just came out on
the
Apple
studio.
TV.
Oh, with Seth Rogen.
Yeah. I love movies or show about filmmaking. That's like one of my if I see a movie or something about filmmaking, I will watch it.
Do you
Just like
think it?
hmm,
Do you think it'll portray a pretty accurate depiction of what it's really like, or do you think it'll just be making more fun of it and show like
the
specific sides?
it seems like they're going for a realistic approach.
If
Kind
it
of, but
is,
then
I
there's
will like it.
right? Have you seen the trailer for it?
I have, yeah.
And it seems like there's a lot of stars in it, like this kind of what show was it where they had like stars play themselves but not actually like caricatures of themselves. I think it was a Ricky Gervais show where they would come, or that was one of them. Like you had Johnny Depp play Johnny Depp in the show, but he's like a very exaggerated
Oh,
version of himself. It's a comedy.
uh, I don't know. The only one I can
Um,
think of right now is like the end of the something at the end of the world, where like they have like actors also show up as themselves. Like Emma Watson was one of them, I
okay.
think.
Oh, Entourage. That was one.
Oh, I see.
Entourage is
Okay.
probably the closest that would be to this show. It's 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay. All right.
So I'm excited.
Dude, Seth Rogen has kind of impressed me a little bit lately.
Yeah? What was the
I
last
used
thing
to
you saw him with?
I Invincible voice acting.
Oh, still haven't seen that yet.
I mean,
Still have not seen that.
I binge watched it right before Severance. It took me like 2 weeks to watch the whole show. To be honest, I did spend some time like just kind of having it in the background because I don't know. I feel like I could. um, but his acting, like I don't know. I just his character is one of my favorite characters in the show. He's not even a main character. He's a secondary or an extra even at this point. But I liked him a lot, and I was like, huh, yeah, I want more of him.
I feel like you have all these comedian actors that are like going drama, right? And
Yeah,
having pretty good success with it too.
yeah, like Ben Stiller.
Yeah, but oh my gosh. Ben Stiller.
And what's his name? Oh my goodness, why can't Adam
Adam
Scott?
Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, because Adam Scott is typically like a comedy guy, and then he's playing. I mean, it's not like a super. No, it is. It is a drama. It's a serious
Yeah.
take in Severance. There's comedy, and he's really good at it, but it's not a comedy.
Yeah, right. Do you find it strange that their names, Adam Scott and Mark Scout, have the same amount of characters? Adam, 4, Mark, 4, Scout, Scott, both starts with S. Like, I'm wondering
I
if.
mean, do you think it was like on purpose?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Like they found something to be like, how can we make this more similar?
What if they like blow us or blow our minds at the end where it's like the actors are part of the show? Like we're watching some sort of like calibration of severance of their attached actor in the real world. Oh my gosh. That'd be crazy.
It'd be kind of like The Matrix.
Kind of like that, or kind of like you remember Bandersnatch on Netflix? The Black
I
Mirror
never saw
episode?
that. Um,
It was an interesting concept. The execution wasn't the greatest, so you didn't really miss much. But what that show did, or that episode kind of uh kind of broke the fourth wall. There's like a couple
Oh,
endings because
did
it
it?
was a choose your own adventure kind of episode. Um, one of the endings is them breaking the fourth wall, realizing that they're in a TV show. They're realizing they're in an episode of Black Mirror or something like that. And I was like, well,
Oh,
that's an
weird.
interesting concept.
I mean, I've been ever since it came out. I've been wanting to watch it and like play it.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I never did it.
I know. Yeah, it's not the greatest episode, but the
Mm,
concept was interesting.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, but dude, I was gonna along with going back a little bit into the question of like whether you would rather do like a whole one take
Yeah.
episode versus like different takes, different shots, different scenes and stuff like that. And you were saying that you like the idea of doing one shots, even if it's like a whole scene that's like one shot, like not necessarily the whole movie, right? But you
Yeah.
would still like to do the one shot.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about some of the shows and movies that have one shots that are like really, really, really good, right? And I mean, I think when people think of one shot, I think the first thing we think about is like 1917,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
1917 is technically it's two shots, right? Because we
Trying to
go through
remember.
the whole first thing until
Yeah.
they get to that church place, I think, and then the guy gets knocked out,
Ah,
and then
yes, yes.
he wakes up the next day, and then
Yeah.
it's just a one big one shot. And it's really cool. It's really well made. But that one has what we were talking about. Like they do cuts where like the camera will kind of like
pan. Yeah.
pan or
Yeah.
follow and get really close to like someone's back or like a hallway. And that's like a good opportunity to cut and reset and or set the next scene and shoot it. And I think a lot of movies do that
Yeah, there's a lot of
and
movies that
shows.
try. You know what bothered me about that movie though, specifically with 1917
Mm,
was that yeah, I get they were trying to like do these invisible cuts to like do stuff, but some of the geography didn't make
didn't
sense,
make sense.
right? You'd be at a shot and you're like, wait a second, you would see the last scene like in the distance, but then suddenly
Yeah,
you're in this vast plains and grassy, and
yeah.
where the previous scene is nowhere in sight. And you're like, okay, okay. Yeah. Did you ever play Half Life,
No.
the first
I know
one?
what it's about. I know bits and pieces of it, but I've never played it.
Yeah, it was kind of like that because there's a couple of times in the game where the whole game is just one sequence essentially, right? You get to corridors and it loads the next corridor, but in in the game sense, you're not. It's not like loading the next level or you get to an area and it loads the next level, right? Like you're in essentially one continuous level, and it's like, uh, and they hide it with different loading screens. And so that was the same kind of feeling that I got when I watched 1917. I was like, when you would load the next level, you'd be like, wait a second, shouldn't there be a window there? Because in the last level, there was a window at that, or there was a
Mm,
door there, but now it's gone. So it's kind of like that
I
with
see.
1917. I was like, that doesn't make sense. So
Yeah.
that kind of
No,
took me
I
out.
I agree with that because they're on the battlefront and then they go through like some caves and
Yeah, yeah,
it's not like they're walking a long time. Like as far as like the scene, like in the world, they're walking a few hundred feet
yeah,
and suddenly
yeah,
they're in this like yeah you're right like an open space and then they're walking away and I'm like I mean there's a certain reality to it I guess as far as like the actual geography. I'm like sure you go through a cave you find a plane but also there's a whole battlefield right behind you like
yeah,
like it shouldn't feel like a completely
yeah,
different world.
yeah. That's
um
yeah.
eh, yeah
I mean, it was
but
nice. It was a nice, like,
no it's
visually
it's a
appealing, right, in
really
terms of what they were trying to do. But
exactly. No, it was a really cool
yeah,
movie, and I think that was the first movie I ever watched that was technically a one shot. That was the whole
I know,
movie.
right? Apparently, there's a
Because
bunch of other movies, right? Birdman. Have you seen Birdman?
oh yeah, I haven't seen it. Again, that's on
I know. I
me.
want to see
It's
that too. That's on my list because the
yeah,
appeal of it's a one shot. You know.
yeah. It's one of those movies that I definitely want to watch. I just haven't had the chance. I think a part of it is that Amber and I try to watch movies together, especially like if there's something that we both really want to watch, then we
Yeah.
try to watch it together. We
Yep. Yep.
we
Same
don't.
here. Same here.
So um sometimes that just kind of delays the time when you can watch something. Um yeah, that happens. Anyway, yeah, it's on my list. I will watch it someday.
Same here.
But there are some movies and shows that have some one-shot scenes that are amazing, and I love every single one of them. Um, one of them being Kingsman.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I've seen Kingsman a couple of times. I love that movie. It's really funny, action packed, uh, and they have a one shot fight scene that is actually I didn't realize this until tonight, but it is split into like two because we start the one shot and then it cuts to like some reactions from other people and then we jump back into it. It doesn't break the fact that the whole scene is technically still a one shot,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is very impressive, I think. Even though we could tell that there was some possible cutting. Oh man,
You froze
I
again.
froze again. Here. I'm back. I don't know what's going on with my computer, man. I don't know why it's like freezing up so much. But you could hear me though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I showed you that scene. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's a fun scene. I'm sure as you were watching me watch the scene, because I haven't seen the movie, but I watched it on YouTube. But there's a lot of cool moments in that in that action sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of things that are like really cool. Um, just like a lot of the shots. The guy getting stabbed in the eye, hits the other guy, grabs the knife that he stuck in the guy's eye, and stabs someone else. So it was like an interesting play on an action scene. So it was really great. Like there was a lot of moments I was like, "Whoa, that's cool. I haven't seen that before."
Um, it's just such a fun movie. Like you
Yeah,
really should watch it.
yeah.
And now you have a piece of the puzzle, and you liked it. So therefore, I know that you're really gonna like the whole movie.
How many are there? Is there
Uh,
3?
I think there's only two so far.
Oh, okay.
Um, Here's one that I know you haven't seen,
Huh.
but I think viewers will agree with me. Um, Daredevil season 2. Uh, there's an episode where it's a fight scene. It's a really long fight scene, and it's
Is
a
it
one
episode
shot.
2? Is it? I thought it was season 1.
No, it's season 2, episode 3.
Is this the hallway fight scene, right?
Yes. Have you seen
Oh
this?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
dude.
love
Okay,
that
like,
scene.
and you haven't seen the show,
I think I stopped midway because
bruh.
something else came up.
I see. No, Daredevil, at least the Netflix version, the first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I think story wise, cinematography wise, it's also one of my favorite shows ever because it's so well made. But one of the things that I really like about Daredevil is that the fight scenes actually felt real.
Real, right? Yeah.
Like the choreography of them were so it's just so well made or well choreographed. And it's the I know there's a meme where people um like people make fun of Matt Murdock because after a fight scene he's always like right because he's gasping for
Yeah,
air.
yeah.
But like as funny as that is, like it kind of I feel like it actually brings realism to the fight scene because if you've ever been in a fight, I know a lot of people haven't, but if you've ever done like kickboxing, karate, anything of that sort, it doesn't take that long for you to get winded.
Yeah.
If you go to a gym and there's like a punching bag, go to the punching bag and try and punch like 1 2 1 2 for like 1 minute. Just go back and forth 1 minute. You're gonna be so tired.
Yeah,
And I
totally.
think that's one of the things about Daredevil that I really enjoyed is like the realism of the fight and then the stamina. Like there's actual. What am I trying to say?
No, I agree. Like, that was one of the things, and I think that's why I remember it. It's so memorable for me. And I think there was just a specific frame and that's in my memory is what's his name? Daredevil. I'll just call him Daredevil. He's like on the ground. He's kind of like resting on his knees against the wall because he's so tired. And every
Mm-hmm.
punch just makes him even more tired.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's just really authentic in a sense of normal human, somewhat normal human being, just
Mm-hmm.
having to fight multiple people and to not have the energy by the end of it. I was like, that's a really good portrayal of a fight scene.
I think it's that scene that he's fighting people, right? Like he's going from room to room to hallway. And I think at the end of it, he's so tired that he just kind of launches his body
Yeah, right?
at the guy.
Yeah.
And it's just like it you feel it. And it's that's why that scene is so great. And I won't put it past it like that the actor himself like uh, legitimately felt tired.
Oh, I'm
You know,
sure.
like
I'm sure.
so
And I think that's what
it's
makes a oneer so like good, right?
mhm.
Because when I was watching Adolescence, I'm just like so immersed in the show and the story because you're seeing everything in real time, right? And
Yeah.
so if you mix that with the authenticity of someone fighting and being tired from that, that just like adds to the wonder because you're seeing it in real time. You're not seeing any cuts. So when you're seeing the actor or the character being tired, you're like you really believe they're tired because you just witnessed
Hmm.
them fight, throw punches like, you know, minutes ago. So you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I believe it. And then you're so immersed in it.
Yeah. It's great. There's a lot of there's a lot of movies and shows that have really awesome one shots.
What was your
A lot
first
of
introduction to it?
to one shot.
Yeah, to the one shot.
Oh my gosh, don't think I don't think I know.
Mine was
Um,
Children of Men.
okay.
That will always be my, well,
A-
one of my favorite one shots.
Actually, you're right. Children of Men, and it that's actually on my list to I've seen it. It's been a long
Oh,
time.
okay.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember the emotions that I felt during that movie.
Yeah.
I have a very small memory of the plot. Like I know what it is,
Yeah.
but it's on our list to watch because Amber hasn't seen it, and I really want her to. But I know that it's
Oh
a heavy
man.
movie.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to get it at the right
Yeah.
moment,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like it has to be the right mood to get into that type of movie.
Yeah,
But
man.
I do remember the one shot in it, and it is fantastic.
Because he's going through the building, he's running down the alleys, gets on the top of the stairs, and it's just so good. And then you have tanks in there, right?
Hmm.
So you have big machines that are part of the shot. And you have soldiers. Oh man, that's one of my favorites. That and also the car chase scene where they have the whole
Dude,
rig with the camera going back and forth in the interior. Oh, so good.
the the car chase scene is very imprinted in my head.
Right? Especially
It's yeah,
when what's her name? The redhead. Julianne Moore's character
yeah,
gets shot.
yeah.
And you're like,
It dude,
whoa, you don't
that
expect
like
it.
it's such a shock
Right?
because I mean she's one of the main characters,
And she's a main character. Oh man.
and I think that also makes it like impactful.
Yeah.
The shock, and it's like, oh, your whole world is shattered
Yeah,
now.
right? You're thinking this is a dire situation now, right? And so your brain is like wired to think someone just died. You can't process it because you have to process the scene that's happening in the moment. You're like it's and you feel like you're part of their journey because I'm sure they're in the same they have the same reaction as you where you're like she just died. We don't have time to process it. There's this mob coming at us. And so you're like
Mhm.
you feel like you're part of it, which is so good.
I'm gonna have to think about my exposure to one shots. Like the moment that I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. Because it's not any of these movies because I've been exposed to it
Yeah.
for a long time. I'm just trying to remember when was that first movie that I was like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
And it like I'm a little sad that I can't remember right now, but I will find it and we will talk about it sometime.
It's interesting because I always thought that was like the first movie to ever do a one shot.
Oh
How
no, there's
naive I was because I did watch the movie when I was younger in my early filmmaking days, right? And I was
I
just so
mean
amazed by it.
Citizen Kane has a one shot too.
Oh, no, I don't remember that one, right?
Citizen Kane, The Revenant.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, I need to see The Revenant. I want to see that. I can't find it anywhere on streaming services though.
I thought it was in on Apple TV or HBO Max.
Ooh, I thought it was. Oh, maybe I haven't seen it yet. Oh, there was another one. Now I remember I watched in school was The Miracle Worker with Helen Keller.
I don't think I've seen
It
it.
was this old movie, black and white, about this caretaker needing to help this little girl who was deaf, blind, and mute, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so there's a scene where they're just struggling with each other in this kitchen. Because I think Helen, the teacher, the caretaker, is trying to teach her how to have manners at the table. And she's like throwing food and all that stuff. So it's like a whole sequence, a one shot of them running around the table, throwing food around. It was just like a very intense scene. And that was another scene. I was like, wow, this is amazing because you just feel like you're there, right? You're just there.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a list of all the one shots. Maybe we can have another one shot episode where we can just,
Right.
just go through all of the different ones.
Oh man. This show.
But, dude, okay, I'm gonna watch the last 2 episodes. We can review for a little bit next time too. Because I'm sure there's stuff in episode 3 and 4 that we'll want to talk about.
Yeah.
And you, what shows are you watching right now?
Right now we're watching The Bear. And apparently there's a one shot that got spoiled for me. And I'm excited to see that.
Oh no.
So I'm looking forward to that. I want to watch The Studio. I want to start that one.
Okay.
And then occasionally we're watching Mythic Quest.
Okay. But here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, The Bear, yeah, you have to. As soon as you finish it, we have to talk about it. Well, how far into it are you? What season?
Episode 4 or 5, I think.
Of season 1?
Yeah. We're still in the beginning.
Dude, you gotta get to season 2. Season 2 is bonkers amazing. Like, it's so good. Some of the best acting and cinematography and everything is in season 2.
I don't know. This Adolescence has just kind of set a high bar for me. So I'm hoping.
No, it's really good. Like, it's really good.
Really?
Anyway, sorry. Enough of The Bear.
The Bear and then Cobra Kai. We're watching Cobra Kai.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so this show right here, season 2 is about to come out. And we're gonna have to talk about it.
I know. I think it'll be great for a podcast because we're having a hard time getting into it.
I know it's a slow start.
I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just
it's a very slow burn.
Yeah, and I'm pushing through it. And it's to the point where like you and Amber, right? You talk about how you watch shows together.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, Britt, would you mind if I watch it by myself? She's like, yeah, go ahead. So I think she's checked out, but I do want to finish it.
So you only got like 2 episodes in, right?
There was a point, the last thing I remember of watching Andor is him walking through a junkyard and the music is like this drums playing in the background.
Yeah, you're like episode 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You need to get to episode 5.
5, okay.
I think it's here. Let me look it up real quick. But I'm pretty sure episode 5 is where I was like, whoa, like
okay,
like I need to keep watching.
Okay. Sorry for you Star Wars fans out there. It's just
yeah, for real. Yeah, see, episode 1 and 2, they're just kind of setting the pieces, right?
Right.
Episode 3 has some really good action, but it's still kind of like, okay, like let's see what else. Episode 4 and 5, you'll actually see one of the actors or actresses that's in Adolescence.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's in
that's
this.
cool. Okay, that's
Yeah, I
cool.
recognized right away. I was like, whoa, I know who she is. Um, okay, episode 6. You need to get to episode 6.
Okay.
And from there, it's you're gonna be on top of the world, and you're gonna be like, Star Wars is fun and all, but Andor is
Okay, okay. This might sound blasphemous to you. Is it one of those shows I can play in the background? Or do I have
mm,
to focus on it?
I think episode 3.
Or
Wait,
am I at a
actually, I
point or
think
am I at the point where I should start actually focusing
you
now?
should probably start focusing a little
Okay,
bit.
okay.
Because a lot of the stuff that I really like about the show is the fact that it's so well, uh, it's beautifully shot.
Ah, okay.
Like the cinematography in the show is just superb, and it's one of the reasons why this Star Wars and Rogue One, because it's the same director cinematographer,
Ah, okay.
it's some of my favorite because it's like the shots are so beautiful.
I do
And
love
yes,
Rogue
there,
One. Rogue One's probably one of my favorites.
yeah, and you will get to the same type of feel that you get in Rogue One in the later episodes of Andor.
Got it. Got
And
it.
so episode 3 was good. Episode 6 is one of my favorites. Episode 9, sorry, episode 10 is probably like
Peak Star
five,
Wars?
five, five cherries on top
No
as far
way.
as far as like dramas go and story development and character development. It's so good. And then
No. Okay, okay. All right.
and this the season finale gives you all of the feels. It's maybe I'm just a big just I'm brown nosing Andor, but
That is the color palette, so there's a lot of browns in this show.
yeah,
And
yeah.
all the dirt. Okay.
But
I'll
yeah, you
give it
gotta
one
watch
more
it
chance.
because season 2 will come out, and then we'll want to talk about it because
Yeah.
I am willing to bet that it'll have a higher rating score than season 1 did.
That's a bold statement. Okay.
It is, but I am confident
Like that
that it will not disappoint
that's
and it'll
part
be
of the
good.
reason why I want to watch it, so we could talk about it, right? Because the same thing happened with Rings of Power. That used to be our
Oh,
show that we go to, and then we're like, let's switch to Cobra Kai, which is okay. I mean, Cobra Kai has its own things I want to talk about, but
okay. So that'll be my homework is to start Cobra Kai as well.
I thought you said you saw Cobra Kai. No?
No, I no, I just I said that I thought it was like a web
Yeah, yeah,
series,
yeah.
but that I never saw it.
It's a fun show. It's not
I've heard
a
I've heard
serious
nothing
show.
but I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah.
So I'm not like
There's
I'm not worried about it.
there's a lot of Devon dialogue in there. I will say that.
Very well.
Yeah. But I think it's on purpose. It's campy.
Okay.
So expect that.
I will watch it, but you have to watch Andor.
Yeah, I will try to get that cuz that's yeah. If it's as good as Rogue One, then I need to watch it.
Yes.
If better, right?
It's very in par.
Really?
There's
Okay, okay.
there it's just different because you're following. I mean, the prequel, right?
Yeah.
The prequel to Rogue One,
Prequel to the prequel. Okay.
and you're right. um, but like Rogue One, I feel like it's so they pack it up really nicely.
Yeah.
But what Andor is doing it's really showing you like everything that goes on behind everything that we see in Rogue One. So
Ah,
like
okay.
as far as like story goes, right? So it's like Andor, like they give you information through their dialogue. Andor is that dialogue but in visual form. Does
Ah,
that make
okay. So
sense?
they actually they actually show it instead of just, well, they expand on what it was talked about in Rogue
Mm-hmm.
One.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. All
You
right,
get
all
to
right.
see the development of the Empire. You see it grow. You see how scary it is. I mean, like when you think of stormtroopers, are you like scared of stormtroopers? You're like, no, their aim sucks. They die with like a coconut to the head. Like they
Yeah.
suck. They're cheap, you know,
Uh,
like throwaway army
yep,
people.
yep, yep.
But in Andor, they're actually kind of scary.
Oh man. Okay. Okay.
Yep. 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 Yep.
That gets me hyped up.
Okay,
That
good.
gets me
Good.
hyped up.
And with that, we shall leave y'all to think about what are your favorite one shots, and what did you think of the ones that we talked about? And have you seen Adolescence? What did you think of it? Let us know in the comment section below. Um, Also, like, subscribe, click the bell icon, share it with your friends so that you guys can talk about all these shows as well. And I don't know what else. What else
Yeah,
do we
thanks for
ask
joining
our
us, everybody.
audience?
Thanks for sticking it through the end here. But I'm glad
Yeah,
you're here
we
with us. I know we talk a lot about it, but I hope to those that enjoy this type that it was another great moment, great listening experience for y'all's as a fly on
mm-hmm.
the wall,
Mm-hmm.
as part of the Fly on the Wall podcast. But it's not actually called that. But Nerd Cassette. Glad you could be with us. We will probably talk about something just as cool next week, so keep that in mind. And as Gato said, bell icon, subscribe, follow us, share it. Let us know what you want us to do or change or
Okay.
watch or talk about.
Okay.
Um, yeah, we will catch you next week, and thanks for joining us.
Peace.